Tonight, I'm Steve Shamraz, in for Mike Jacobs.
They are images of tragic events that are ingrained in our minds.
The Columbine shootings, with students running out of their school with their hands behind their heads.
The Sikh Temple shooting in Oak Creek, where officers with guns drawn crept to a temple to take down a gunman. And of course, the children of Sandy Hook Elementary running in a line from their school where a gunman had just shot and killed 20 of their classmates and 6 of their teachers. Well, a local chaplain went to Connecticut after the shootings at Sandy Hook.
He was at Oak Creek when those shootings happened at the Sikh Temple, and he served on panels with the principal of Columbine.
He is Reverend Greg Young, and he's an experienced crisis intervention trainer. And Reverend Young, thank you so much for being with us this evening. We do appreciate it. How did you get started in this kind of work?
Well, that's a long story. I actually started off as a chaplain in the Germantown Police Department, went to a training in a field called Critical Incident Stress Management. And they provide trainings and different kinds of intervention tools, Carol, for crisis teams that respond to disasters in hospitals, airports, all kinds of major mass disasters. And shortly after that training, I was deployed to Hurricane Katrina. That was one of my first major incidents that I was responding to. So
the principal at Columbine, for example, says he still gets phone calls.
Oh yeah, he does.
How long does it take, or can you ever really get over a mass casualty incident like this?
You can never get over it, Steve, but you can always get better. And as I said, and actually as Frank had said when we were in a panel together, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And so one of the reasons why we went out to Sandy Hook, why we were in Danbury at Western State Connecticut University, was to basically introduce some of the first responders, some of the teachers, some of the people in the community who were impacted most by this, to others who have either experienced or responded to other tragedies. They will find their own way. We will, perhaps some of us, be going back, and that was a part of that whole process.
You know, you've helped so many people and heal a lot of hearts. You know, you recently had a story about a principal and a keychain. Can you share that with us?
Oh, sure. Well, that was Frank DeAngelis, my friend from Columbine, who was waiting for me in Philly when I had our plane connection, and we had been talking as to what we were going to discuss in the panel discussions. Actually, prior to actually meeting, but we felt like we were old friends. And Frank he's a feisty guy. I mean, 14 years ago was Columbine, and he remembers, and he held up a wad of keys, Carol and Steve. That was, you know, you can imagine a principal of a school would have a kind of the same set of keys, perhaps, that the janitor might have, and many of the keys looked alike, and only one key unlocked all the doors. And as bullets were whizzing by, he was leading some students to safety. It happened to be the key that he just grabbed randomly on his keychain that led them to safety.
Well, you do such good work, and you know what? We could talk to you all evening. Reverend Greg Young, we thank you for being with us. It's just fascinating, and we